President Trump fulfilling a campaign promise to appoint conservatives to the courts, announcing the nominations of 10 judges to the courts. The list includes 2 nominees previously floated for the Supreme Court, Judges Joan Larson and David Strauss. Lower court stacked with Obama appointees, President Trump needs to fill 129 vacancies. Joining me now to discuss the deep state judiciary, today's Senate hearing, White House correspondent at the Independent Journal Review, Erin McPike. Erin, good to have you with us. Chairman of the American Conservative Union, Matt Schlapp. Matt, good to see you. Erin, let me start with 129 vacancies. One court in North Carolina has been vacant for 11 years, for crying out loud. Your thoughts about both the opportunity and the direction, the speed of the Obama administration in filling those vacancies?
Well, look, part of this was because Mitch McConnell, as Senate Majority Leader, went really slowly in fulfilling some of those open judgeships during the Obama administration, so it created more opportunity for the Trump administration to fulfill a lot of these openings with more conservative judges. Now, you're hearing from a number of Democratic senators who are upset that the way that the Trump administration has created its list of potential judges to fill these openings came from the Heritage Foundation and others, very conservative entities. But you have to think, of course, the Trump administration is going to go to conservative groups to get their take on who they want to fill those openings, because this was a huge campaign promise of his, to fill courts with conservative judges and justices.
As President Obama did in his instance, in the case of the Fourth Circuit Court, as I said, 10 of 13 appointed by Democrats. Matt, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, you know, the Republicans have finally decided to fight fire with fire. For decades, Democratic presidents and Democrats in the Senate worked together to stop hardcore conservative Republican nominees, and they were able to push their nominees through as Republicans kind of had a laissez-faire approach to filling these vacancies. And under Mitch McConnell, Republicans said enough was enough. I think the greatest thing Mitch McConnell will have done for his country would have been to allow Donald Trump to pick that all-important swing seat on the Supreme Court with Neil Gorsuch. It's big time, Lou.
Yeah, no question about that. And it looks, if the rumors, if you will, not street rumors, but rather, I guess, the hallway rumors of the judicial system are accurate in suggesting one of the justices will retire as early as this summer. Erin, let's turn to McMaster. The reporting of Eli Lake at Bloomberg is saying very clearly that there is, at the very least, a personality conflict between the General, H.R. McMaster, and the President of the United States. Is this an over-entitled general who just cannot find his place? What is going on here in your judgment?
Well, I think in part the president should have known, having looked into McMaster's background. And I've talked to a number of NSC officials from the Obama administration who really actually saw this coming, based on McMaster's history in Iraq, and that he wanted to do some nation building, if you will, some of the different modeling that he came up with while he was in Iraq. So this absolutely clashes with some of the vision that Donald Trump was talking about on the campaign trail. So of course these two men were going to come to blows at some level, because they do have differing visions. Figuratively speaking.
Yes. And of course, I have to say, Matt, the fact that the National Security Adviser would advise the president not to use the term radical Islamist terrorist.
We've been there.
That is so disappointing to me. I just can't even begin to imagine what else McMaster might be thinking. This is a man who watched this president campaign. Your thoughts, and oh my, what are we to do now?
Well, you know, these are the early steps of an administration, and I have great confidence that Donald Trump knows his own head, and he understands the policies that got elected president and the policies that are knit in his heart. And I just hope that as he takes these first steps, I think what they did in Syria was correct with the bombing, but you can take 2 or 3 more steps, and the next thing you know, we're in the middle of a quagmire and we're nation building. And I hope and pray that this administration continues to just hew the right course because the consequences are just too big to explain.
Yeah, a counselor to this president who would suggest that he not name the enemy after what we have endured in a long war. Thank you, David Petraeus, for giving the name. This is preposterous. We need generals who can win. We don't need semantic artists either advising the president or leading those in uniform. It's just, I am so deeply disappointed in this National Security Advisor, I can't express it.